So this is how to succeed on the job as a UX designer. Now, if you are already a UX designer, that's great. This is just a few tips to get a gist of how to succeed on the job. Now, if you're going into the field and becoming a UX designer, I hope these tips really help you. So with that being said, let's get started. So be open to feedback. A lot of designers out there are so afraid to get that feedback that they need for the design, so they don't ask for it. Or on top of that, they have a design that they worked on for hours upon hours, even days upon days upon days, right? And the next thing you know, they get feedback on it, and now they're kind of butthurt about it. Please, as a designer, you should be open to feedback, right? So I came from the animation field, and whenever I got feedback on my design or my animation, sometimes, yeah, I would feel butthurt about it. But guess what? If you take that feedback, you bring it back to the drawing board, and you reevaluate your animation or design, guess what? That feedback really helps. So please be open to feedback. Be an advocate for UX. A lot of times people are gonna come up to you and say like, I need a website. That's it, just the UI design. And then you're just a web designer at that point. Always advocate for UX, right? You are the first line of defense for the user experience across the board of the website, the application, the app, whatever the case may be. The client just asked for a website. Go ahead and in your spare time, do the UX, but still provide the interface design. Because at the end of the day, the client is just looking for a website, right? They're looking for that look and feel on the website. Your job is to hone in on that process of the UX and provide that, okay? At the end of the day, always advocate for UX. So if you've been studying UX, or if you're already in the user experience design process, you already know what it's like. Information architect is very, very important. That being said, you should be the owner of the experience. Own up to that experience, right? What that means is if you have certain links, drop downs, or contextual menus, pop-ups, and links that go somewhere, where does that go? And how did you get there? If you have a feature or a page that has a feature on top of that page, how did you get to this page, right? If you have a page on an app, how do people get to this specific page? Be able to own up to that experience, because a lot of people are gonna ask you, how do I get to this place? And where do I go to, right? You need to be able to understand holistically the experience as a whole, be able to back up how you got there and where is it gonna go to. Now, a quick tip, when you're explaining your design decisions, have confidence in it. How you got those metrics or how you got that data, right? So be able to back up your design decisions with usability case studies or other examples that are used in the field or used in other places. Google has done this, and this is why drop-down menus don't work on mobile. That's an example. So be able to back up to why you came up with this proposal for this design decision, right? Be confident in that when you're explaining that design decision. So when you're working on the job, a lot of times, and really, it really depends on the specific use case, right? If you're working on a mobile app, are you working on Android? Are you working on iOS, like iPhone, right? Are you working on a kiosk? What technology is used to build that kiosk? Are you working on a web application that's going to be built on a desktop? People have to download that. Or are they going to be able to use it as a web application? They don't have to download nothing. They can just sign in and they have the application there ready to go, right? So you really need to understand what tools and technology that you're going to be designing for, okay? Is it a kiosk? How should this kiosk be built, right? Does the kiosk have a specific size, right, that you need to build the design for? Are you building it for a mobile app? Sometimes when you're building a feature for the iPhone, sometimes those features don't work for Android. So you need to be able to reevaluate how that design is going to work for Android, okay? So really look at the tools and really ask your developers, what are my constraints, or what am I working with? And how can I make your life easier? Really talk to your dev team, get a gist of who they are and how can you make their life easier. So at the end of the day, a developer is there to put your design forward, right? They're to develop, they're to code your design, your animation, whatever you put together. So if they understand how to build it, they can do it. Some developers don't know the technology just yet, but it's out there in the field, but they don't know how to do it yet. So are you able to reevaluate that design and put it forward, but still adhere to those constraints, right? So try to figure that out too. So lastly, as a tip, before I end this video, please always advocate UX. If you're a UX designer, right, and you specialize in designing websites and applications and mobile apps, please advocate UX. Advocate the strategy of design thinking and the process that goes into that website or into that mobile app. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times clients are just going to want that design. They just need something to put out there. They want a website. They want a mobile app to put out there, right? Your end goal is to put a physical product out or a digital product out there. They want the end goal. However, a lot of times they might not know the process of UX. They just know you have some really good designs. But obviously, what is the process that goes into those designs? So advocate for that. Talk to them about that process, right? And it's okay if they don't want to adhere to that. That's fine. At the end of the day, you need to advocate UX. All right, guys? So thank you for listening to me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate your time. Bye, guys.